I'm a superconductor. Zzz, zzz, zzz. There's a book that Malcolm Gladwell wrote about different kinds of people that you meet in your life. There are people who are like business people or people that are like mathematicians. And anyway, so he has all these categories of different types of people that you meet in your life. And there were like connectors and super connectors. I kind of feel like I'm a bit of a super connector because I get really excited when I meet someone who comes with like an army of people and I introduce them to someone else who also comes with like an army of people. So I started 10 by 10 in 2011. I started it because there wasn't a lot of visual art programming during Pride. 10 by 10 is an annual exhibition and a book that comes out that celebrates the contributions of LGBTQ Canadians in the arts. So every year I ask 10 queer Canadian photographers or somebody who works in lens-based arts to each take 10 portraits of someone who has made either a significant contribution to the arts or someone who's sort of a new rising star. I'm at the end of the string, so I'll start again. I took this on as a 10-year project, so by 2021 I will have worked with 100 LGBTQ Canadian photographers, and collectively we'll have captured 100 portraits of queers in the arts. So what is funny about being a busy artist, I'm literally some days I'm like painting, and then there's a phone call, and then I'm on the phone call for half an hour, or, oh, there you are. Hey, how are you? Yeah, I need 12 avocados and 14 walnuts. I'm taking another call to talk to a photographer because they need a location. You know, the end of that day, I'm like answering emails. So, I'm tired, man. It's a lot of activity for me, you know, all this dot making. Because usually I'm just sort of sitting there with chips and pop. I find that there's this occupational hazard of people in the arts, particularly around people who are looking at art critically. There's this critical distance that they have from the work, so they can't, you know, they can't gush or they can't be like excited about something. And I don't really have a trust for people that are like that, who are sort of like, oh, well, that's very nice, and this and this and this. And don't get me wrong, I think it's really important that you're able to sort of break down something, you know, talk about, you know, its merits or talk about it critically. But, you know, enthusiasm in some ways in the arts can sometimes be a little bit underrated. Enthusiasm is contagious. And if I have enthusiasm for something, then someone else is gonna have enthusiasm for it. And that's why I think 10 by 10 for me has been so successful, is that every year I get to meet 10 new queer Canadian photographers, and through them I get to connect to their community. I think when I was younger, I didn't consider myself, we'll say, a queer person. I was like, well, I'm a gay man, but I'm not queer. And I think the older I get, the more queer I get. And that's to say, when I think about what queer means to me, queer for me is, it's a way of disrupting the norm. When we decide to change a direction, we queer something. I wouldn't say that my work is queer in its subject matter, but maybe in its approach. So when someone says, oh, that art's gay, or that, you know, this is gay art, we think about, you know, it sort of relies on these very sturdy pillars of like, it's homoeroticism, you know, socio-political commentary, it's about, you know, some sort of form of suffering or having to rise up against something, like these sorts of things. And that's one of the things I wanted to do with 10 by 10 was to take that and not make it about like, oh, the oppressed gay person or the oppressed queer person, but rather like let's take an opportunity to celebrate the successes and the contributions that people have made. That looks like me. There, you get to see things from both sides. How symbolic. So I'm trying to make something that is very decidedly gay or queer, but it's not homoerotic and it's not directly addressing a social justice issue. So I think that that's one of the things that I would like to see, is more people sort of to try to queer the queer, if that makes any sense. Yeah! So, I'm done. Ta-da!